In the quiet suburban town of Willow Creek, a young couple, Emma and Jack, had just moved into an old Victorian house. The neighborhood was welcoming, but the house had a history, one the real estate agent had glossed over. It was the only property in the area that had been on the market for years. Emma was drawn to its character with its creaky floors and intricate woodwork. Jack wasn't as convinced, but agreed to the move. They both believed it would be a fresh start, a new chapter in their lives. The first night in the house was uneventful, but as days passed, Emma began to hear strange sounds coming from inside the walls. At first, she thought it was just the old house settling, but the sounds became more distinct, a soft scratching, like nails dragging across wood. She didn't mention it to Jack, not wanting to spook him, but soon the noises became impossible to ignore. Late one night, while Jack was working late, Emma sat in the living room reading a book when she heard it again. This time, it was louder, almost like someone was moving behind the walls. She placed her ear against the wall and froze. There it was, faint breathing. She backed away, her heart racing. She knew there was something there, something watching her. The scratching returned, this time accompanied by a low, guttural whisper. She called Jack, her voice trembling. "I swear there's something in the walls, Jack. It's like someone's watching me." Jack dismissed it as paranoia. "It's just an old house, Emma. It's bound to have some creaks and noises. Don't worry." But Emma couldn't shake the feeling. That night, she barely slept, the sounds continuing to echo in the silence. The next day, she contacted a contractor to inspect the walls, convinced that something was hidden within. The contractor found nothing unusual, no rodents, no signs of pests, but Emma knew what she had heard. One evening, while Emma was alone, the noises escalated. She followed the sound of the scratching, leading her to the master bedroom. It was coming from behind the large built-in wardrobe. Summoning her courage, she slowly moved the wardrobe aside. Behind it was an old, rusted vent, one that shouldn't have been there. Her curiosity got the best of her, and she shone a flashlight into the vent. To her horror, she saw something move, a flash of something pale and skeletal. She screamed and stumbled backward, the wardrobe crashing back into place. She bolted from the room and called Jack, begging him to come home. Jack finally arrived, irritated and skeptical. Together, they went back to the bedroom. The vent was there, just as Emma had said, but when Jack shone the flashlight inside, there was nothing. "I'm telling you, Jack, something's in there," Emma insisted, tears in her eyes. Jack reluctantly agreed to stay up that night to keep watch. As they sat in silence, the scratching returned. Jack finally heard it too, his face going pale. The sounds grew louder, more frantic, until suddenly they stopped. A deathly silence filled the house. Jack cautiously approached the wall, placing his ear against it. Then a voice, low and distorted, whispered from within, "I see you." Jack leaped back, grabbing Emma by the arm. "We're leaving. Now." They rushed down the stairs, but before they could reach the front door, it slammed shut with a deafening thud. The house seemed to come alive around them, the walls groaning and shifting. Footsteps echoed from the upstairs hallway, slow and deliberate. Something was moving toward them. Emma grabbed a chair, swinging it at the window to break the glass. But just as she did, a figure appeared at the top of the stairs. It was thin, almost emaciated, with skin stretched tightly over its bones. Its eyes were dark voids, staring straight at them. Jack managed to break the window, and they scrambled through, cutting themselves on the broken glass in their desperate escape. They ran to the neighbor's house, pounding on the door until someone finally let them in. The next day, the couple returned to the house with police officers, but the house was eerily quiet. The officers found nothing unusual. No signs of forced entry, no figures lurking in the walls. The vent was sealed, just as if it had never been opened. But Emma and Jack knew the truth. They left Willow Creek the next day, vowing never to return. And though the house remained empty, it was never truly vacant. Late at night, if you listen closely enough, you might still hear the scratching in the walls and the faint whisper that warns, "I see you."